Hey folks, welcome back to another Paul Master video, and today let's talk a bit about the upcoming Emma and Crobat that's dropping tonight, which we will be pulling on when that happens. So yeah, make sure I'll tune in for that. The last one of the Kalos Villain Arc units, so hopefully my wallet could still keep up. But anyways, good luck to anyone pulling, by the way. So alright, let's get into this unit. So this unit, just in terms of the kit wise, right, it's a striker, it's a poison striker, and it's pretty much the best poison damage dealer in the game, right? I think by far, right, by far. And the reason for that is, well, a lot of things. Well, first of all, it has 424 physical attack stat, right, which is you know, that's pretty good. Yeah, outside of that, you also got a 403 speed, which is really nice as well. And then as for your moves, you got Poison Fang over here, right? 50% chance to badly poison the opponent, which is always nice. Then you got potions as well as a striker, so that could be useful and you know, helpful in gauntlet scenarios. Then you have the Cross Poison, which is your B move, which this one actually does not have any MP restrictions. You could you know, use this as long as the opponent is poisoned, as long as they're poisoned or badly poisoned, I guess, right? You could just keep on using this move, and never misses, right? And always crits, except in certain circumstances. And then 10% chance to badly poison the opponent as well. And yeah, it's a 4-gauge move. 4-gauge move, 276 base power, right? Which is a decent amount. And then you have your trainer move, which gives you +4 attack and +4 speed for your entire team as well, which is low-key really nice too. So it's not, you know, it's not that much of a I'm literally only do damage and nothing else. It, you know, got some other stuff in there as well, right? Got some other stuff in there. As for some of the passives, you have Head Start 2, which is really good. Toxic Freebie 4, which helps with the relatively high gauge cost of B Cross Poison, and you know, especially if you consider a lot of other poison damage dealers in the game, a lot of them, yeah, at least the better ones, right, are gauge heavy / or slow, so that would help. Critical Sync, you know, again, except certain circumstances, those are generally when the opponent has like crit shield or vigilance or whatever, right? The user sync move lands as a crit, so yeah, you don't need crit buffs for Emma basically, because she's gonna crit regardless, right? Except for this Poison Fang, which, okay, you don't crit on the Poison Fang, which is not that big of a deal. Like, it's, come on. All right, so yeah, as for the grid, right, in terms of if you are trying to pull for her, how many copies do you want? 1 out of 5, you get the basics, right? B Cross Poison does some damage, and again, you still have the regular potions, the team speed buffs, all that stuff. It's just the base kit. It's just you don't have a lot of the multipliers, right? That's just usually that's like every unit, right? So outside of that, let's see, 2 out of 5, you do have some multipliers actually, right? The newly added with the 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 that people don't talk too much about, but the extra 2 out of 5 nodes over here, both, this one costing 5 energy, this one costing 8, both are multipliers based on the opponent being, you know, poisoned, so that's nice. 1 sync, 1 regular move. Then you got Toxic Chance, 40% chance of poisoning opponent with, you know, move targeting opponent is successful. Not a huge fan, just because, like, these two are like badly poisoned, this is just regular poison. I guess it's not that bad if you're just trying to really get a poison in fast in like a master mode scenario or something, right? So, you know, this is 50% chance is not bad for Poison Fang, but it's not 100%, right? So you could pick that up if you want. There's you know, there's Master Healer, that's really that's always nice for the potions. Got attack +20 here. NPR on your training move, it's only like 1 base MP, so the chance of getting this is not very high. Slippery gives you evasion, kind of like the Koga Crobat a bit. Not that you're really going to be tanking much. I mean, these are not really, you know, tanky stats. But yeah, you also got some nice stuff over here in terms of Toxic Hit speed up 9 and Toxic Hit attack up 4, right? One's a guaranteed speed buff every time you hit a poison opponent, and then the other one is 50% chance of gaining attack +1 hitting a poison or badly poison opponent, which is good for help maxing out your, obviously, speed and physical attack stats without, you know, the use of anyone else. So honestly, her 2 out of 5 is not bad, right? Her 2 out of 5 is not bad. You have a few small multipliers here and there. You got some stuff to make her more self-sufficient. And you got Master Healer, which low-key, her 2 out of 5 is pretty good. Her 2 out of 5 is pretty good. Her 3 out of 5, obviously better, right? You got Toxic Power 3 up here, Ramming Speed, Inertia, right? These are the big multipliers coming in. You have Rejuvenate 6, Poisonous Acceleration 2, right? Adrenaline 1, which is very good for Master Mode. NPR on Potion, right? Which is nice too. Super Toxic 4, 50% chance of giving you Super Effective up next. When you're attacking a poisoned or badly poisoned opponent, which is really, really, really good as well. So yeah, 3 out of 5, you definitely get like the big multipliers and stuff. 4 out of 5, low-key is not bad either, right? Ruthless Toxin gives you a guaranteed chance of debuffing by 2 either their opponent, the attack, defense, special defense, speed, accuracy, or evasion. It is at random, so like, you know, you can say, oh, you know, it's great because you debuff defense, you do more damage. Well, it's only a what, 1 out of what, 7 chance of getting that, right? But you know, it could still be helpful. Catalytic Kick gives you move gauge acceleration. I don't really care too much about this one. Like, not that move gauge acceleration is bad, but you're probably using this like ASAP when you get into the game, and then or in the battle. And yeah, she starts poison fanging right away, but your teammates probably are still buffing, so it's not like that big of a deal unless you're running it with like Giovanni, which, okay, that could be nice. And then 5 out of 5, you have Venomous, Sync all, guarantee, you know, poisons all the opponents after a sync, and then team evasive maneuvers, 50% chance of raising evasion of all eye sync by 1 when you know, attack moves is successful. I mean, this is alright. It's not anything crazy, and then this I don't really care too much about. Like, you have a pretty good chance of poisoning with Poison Fang. It's like, and like, the main opponent you do want to poison, which is the mid, right, is probably already poisoned, you know, before you sync. Right, so yeah, it's not that big of a deal. This one kind of sucks. So yeah, this is definitely a unit where totally usable at 1 out of 5, but just gets, you definitely do get value out of 2 out of 5 as well, 3 out of 5, and to an extent 4 out of 5. Right, I don't feel like the 4 out of 5 stuff are like super crazy, but like this could be nice if you're running with Fall Iris. You know, one of Fall Iris's bigger problems is the special defense debuff or multipliers, and you know, if you could get the special defense debuff here, again, it's 1 out of 7 chance, which is not great, but if you do get it, that's nice, right? It's not even like 20%, it's like what, 15% or whatever. But yeah, I'd say 2 out of 2, 1, 2, 3 are all really, really good. Value wise, 4 is alright, and 5 is, I wouldn't really recommend going for 5 copies. So anyways, going into some pros and cons of the unit, right? Starting with some of the pros, there's a lot of them, man. First of all, she's a real poison striker, man. She's legitimate poison striker, all right. She you know, she has a poison sync, right? She has a 4 gauge poison damaging move. And yeah, she's just the best poison striker in the game. I'd say by far, right? Again, like this is amazing. This is amazing damage, and sorry you guys can't see that, but yeah, that's amazing damage. And her sync is also the best poison striker sync as well, right? AoE striker. Not that it's like that much off from Looker, but still. Obviously, her DPS is so much better than Looker, right? That's more than, is that more than double Looker's damage? It's pretty much close, right? But yeah, obviously, fantastic poison type damage dealer. So that's obviously the number 1 big pro over there. The second one, you have team speed buffs, really good. You have the potions as well. Right, you have badly poison, right? So like outside of her doing damage off her DPS and her sync and all that stuff, do keep in mind, you know, badly poison, you get some solid chip damage, you know, in there, right? After a few turns, even the opponent does have some like poison mitigation And usually poison weak stages don't have the mitigation as high, right? So after like 3 or 4 turns, every time the opponent attacks, they could drop like a few thousand HP, right? If you're giving the opponent a lot of HP in like mass mode or something. So yeah, the valley poisons, you know, can't discount that, right? And then you have the random debuffs at 4 out of 5. Again, not very reliable, and it's random, but you know, it's something. And best poison AoE, Striker Nuke, talked about that as Adrenaline, which is again very, very good for mass mode. And then the multiplier requirements aren't too bad either, right? It's mostly just speed buffs, right, which she has +4 of already. And then just to poison the opponent, which is her entire kit, right? If you don't have the opponent poisoned, yeah, you're not I don't know what you're doing with this unit. Right, so there's that. But as for some of the cons, I suppose, she is a bit gauge heavy for a 4 gauge unit, but she does have good speed, right? 403 speed is definitely really nice speed, and then she does buff the team's speed, right? +4. So, and she also has that, you know, free 50% chance of free move next. So like, it's honestly not even that big of an issue. Not that big of an issue. It's more so like some of the teams that you run her in might be a bit more gauge, like more slower, right? A bit slower and high gauge cost, like a Fall Iris, like a, you know, Singsu Giovanni, and in those cases, yeah. But again, she still helps. Right? Like her own personal gauge, honestly, not that bad, right? It's pretty solid. Here's the biggest issue of this unit. That's the #1 issue. Borderline unusable versus poison immune stages. Like, if there's a stage that's immune to poison that has antitoxin, or just has like constant like status shields, or one of those gauntlet stages that cures, or you know, you can poison them early on, but after a few self cures, it just becomes immune to poison, right? So stages like that, she's borderline unusable. It's like she's almost just basically useless, almost useless, right? Because like if you look at all their stuff, first of all, her B move needs to be, you know, there has to be one poison or badly poison on the opponent's field to play. Like, you can't even like poison your own units on but activate. No, it has to be on the opponent's field to play. There at least has to be one badly poisoned or poisoned unit, right? And so you straight up can't use B cross poison, which means you're not doing DPS with her. And on top of that, yeah, like you're like what are you doing? Right? You can't do this. You can't debuff them. You can't even use her as a debuffer because you need them to be poisoned there too. You're not getting the free move next because you need them to be poisoned. You're not, I don't even know, these multipliers, right? Toxic Power, Virulent Toxin. You're not getting those because they're not poisoned. Can't get Super Toxic 4 in, right? Because, you know, if they're not poisoned. And I guess like the only thing you could really do with her, if there's a completely poison immune stage, is like you could use her to buff your team's speed, which is okay. You could still like potion, and you could nuke a bit, right? You still got inertia, so that's like something. But yeah, she's almost borderline useless against stages that are like poison immune. So there's that. Third thing is expensive grid. She has a lot of really good stuff on her grid, all in the opposite directions of where you'd want them to be. So yeah, it just costs a lot to pick up all like the really good stuff, like you know, ramming speed, inertia's down here. You have toxic power, super toxic force all the way at the very, you know, opposite of the grid over here. And obviously they all cost a lot, you know, 10 each, right? This thing costs like 10. Adrenaline and the potion MP refresh and massive healer are over here in this corner. Rejuvenates over here. So yeah, it's a costly grid, unfortunately, as well. So, and the last one is, it's a bit of an awkward fit with Fall Iris again. Like, you could have that part where like you have a 1 in 7 chance to debuff the opponent's special defense, which could help Fall Iris, but otherwise, again, it's a bit of an awkward fit because both she and Fall Iris would want, you know, a support to help max out their stats. Fall Iris being special, Emma being physical, obviously, and then, you know, the mix buffers are a bit more limited, right? And then Fall Iris also would appreciate someone that could debuff special defense a bit more consistently, right? So something like a Singsu Brendan, right, would be really, really good with Fall Iris, but obviously Singsu Brendan doesn't do anything much with Crobat here, right? Like, Crobat doesn't even need the crit buffs, because Crobat doesn't need any crit buffs to crit. So yeah, that could be a bit of an awkward fit, but overall, again, it's a really, 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 really fantastic unit, I'd say, right? Despite some of the downside, like, yeah, just as long as you're not fighting, like, what were the stages? Yeah, I believe what, Tornadus is completely immune to poison, and I think, Cobalion and, like, Regirock cure, like, goes from, like, goes to immune from poison really, really fast. I think, like, Latios has Safeguard something, but yeah, there's just a ton of stages where, like, you basically can't really use her at all, but, you know, outside of that, pretty good unit. Oh, also forgot one other pro is the Sync Move Countdown. Really, really, really good, and can help your team quite a bit, right, as well. Also, another pro that doesn't need crit buffers, so there's that. Okay, good unit. So, moving on, let's talk a bit about some Sync Grid builds, some Lucky Skills, team comps, and all that stuff. So, in terms of, like, Lucky Skills, it is a damage dealer, but again, with the Head Start thing, right, it does have Head Start too, so low-key, giving it, like, Head Start 1 as a Lucky Skill would be really nice, just because it's, like, it's a free one entire turn, just shred it off, just like that, right, just from herself. Like, you don't even need any other teammates to give you an extra -1 Sync Move Countdown, like, just by herself. Boom, she got, like, an entire turn shredded off, which is pretty cool, right? So Head Start 1 is definitely really, really nice. But yeah, other than that, it's just the usual Crit Strike and Crit Strike 2 and Super Powered 3, right? People think, oh, maybe I should go Super Powered 3 because it's, like, poison, right? Why would you use her outside of poison stages? Well, like, with those raw numbers, she's comparable with some, like, the other, you know, really, really, really good damage dealers off type as well. So, like, yeah, I'd say Crit Strike 2 probably generally a bit better than Super Power 3 for her. But again, if you really just only plan her to use versus like Poison Weak Synergy, sure, I guess. All right, let's talk Sync Grid builds. So to start off, I guess we could 1 out of 5. Again, you could pretty much pick everything up, right? If you have the ores, but if you don't, just pick up, like, these, I guess, right? But otherwise, pick everything up. 2 out of 5 over here. You do have, again, a lot of really, really nice things that you could go for. You go for this Master Healer, first of all, right? The Toxic Power, Virulent Toxin. And if you need these, you could go for these too, right? And as for the rest, just maybe pick up some, you know, B Cross Poison power-ups would be nice. But if you don't need these, for example, then you could maybe go over here, pick up, like, the attack +20, and then pick up the B Cross Poison power-ups. And is there any speed, attack? There we go. An extra attack up. You know, you can do that. I don't really care about these two personally. I mean, it's kind of those are kind of whatever. 3 out of 5. There's a few ways you could go with it. Again, it is slightly expensive to get everything, right? So this grid, for example. Yeah, all right, that better fits all in one picture. So this grid, for example, could be something you run for, like, a 2K Master Mode, like Poison Week stage, where you just want to just go in, you give the opponent strength, you give the opponent offenses, and you want to win the battle, clear the stage on the 4th turn, right? Or on your sync turn, or the turn after. You could probably go with something like this, where you start out trying to, like, fish for the Super Toxic 4 for the super effective up next, with you know, whilst you're also trying to poison the opponent. So, you know, a decent amount of RNG there, but, you know, probably I'd say maybe in 2 hits you'd probably get, on average, right? 2 hits you'd probably get both of these, right? Which is a obviously, again, super effective up and the poison. You kind of want to hope you get the get the poison first before the super effective up, not get the super effective up and then like not get the poison, because then you'd waste the super effective on like a poison fang. So yeah, just so you get a super effective up next there, and then you have the opponent poisoned, then you know, on hoping you also have a teammate to max out your speed over here, right? And yeah, after that I go train a move and then nuke. And well, maybe this grid is not so much like the 4th, 5th turn stage clear, right? Because we also picked up adrenaline here, so this is where, like, you know, just in case you're not like super certain that you'd clear on that turn. I got the wrong one, sorry. You have adrenaline here just so you know you have the ability, as long as you queue up your moves, you'll have the ability to get a second sync in there before the opponent syncs. So that's nice, right? Assuming you also pick up like sync move countdown for the opponent, which you probably shouldn't. So yeah, that's one of those kind of grids. If you really just want to try to go for the clearing the stage on sync, then you probably would want some other things like the virulent toxin. I don't even know how to pronounce that thing, man. Well, the virulent toxin there, maybe the sync move power up here, and maybe still go for that super toxic 4. It's just that in this case scenario you won't be able to pick up like adrenaline, which slightly sucks, but you know, not the biggest deal in the world. Maybe toxic power, you know, just in case, get an extra move in there afterwards, take him out, right? Maybe an extra attack or whatever. So yeah, that's just for like full nuke. If you do want to go for hybrid nuke DPS, which is probably what you want to go for, because her DPS is really freaking good too, right? Inertia, ramming speed over here, toxic power, and then super toxic 4. Maybe you go over here just to pick up the virulent toxin as well. So this is just fully just all offensive stuff, right? It's mostly just all offensive stuff. If you do want to run her more of a, I guess, gauntlet-ish unit, so you could do something like Massive Healer with the MPR and Potion, and then you can maybe come down with the Rejuvenate here, you know, for the gauges, obviously, and then like Inertia, right? Obviously this is much lower in terms of damage wise, but can you? Yeah, we could afford that. Yeah, but you have more of the potion stuff to heal, help your team out, and you know, if the stages are a bit too long and your gauges can't keep up, you could get Rejuvenate after your sync. So there's something like that if you are still planning to use her as your sync nuker, instead of just if you don't have tech nuker, right? Like, sure, you could use her. So yeah, that's some 3 out of 5. As for like 4 out of 5, I guess you could do something like this, where you have the Ruthless Toxin over there if you really want, and then you just have Inertia, Ramming Speed, and the Toxic Power 3, Virulent Toxin 2, right? Some of that stuff could be nice if you're trying to run her with, you know, Fall Iris or something. You just want that extra bit. As for 5 out of 5, honestly, I wouldn't really pick up any of these. Yeah, I don't even want to pull for a 5. Like, later tonight, since I'm also low on gems, I'll probably just go for like, I'll go for like 4 out of 5, and I'll do like dailies on her banner, just see if I could get that last copy. But yeah, these two don't really matter. I don't feel like there's like some rare scenario where like you probably pick this up, and I guess if your tank really just sucks that bad and you really need to rely on RNG for your tank to, you know, survive, you could pick this up. There's not too many units that could really utilize this multiplier that well. It's just like, especially like poison type, it's like Koga, I guess, but Koga already has a decent amount of that himself. I mean, you just, you know, give him like an NPR or something, and like he's really good. So yeah, no, not really. So okay, in terms of team comps, if you do want to run her with Fall Iris, you know, just have someone to buff both your offenses. So something like a champion Kayla maybe, right? That could buff both physical and special attack, and obviously he's also good as well with the extra physical or special move up next. Just you know, make sure you don't like you don't accidentally throw Dark Zone out there when you just set up like Poison Zone, and then it's just like it takes away the Poison Zone. Just use it when like Poison Zone's like gone, or queue up Poison Zone right after you use Dark Zone, right, from Calum, if you are trying to get the physical move up next for Emma. But yeah, I mean, again, it could be Calum, it could be anyone else, any of other support that buffs both of them. Obviously, what's his face? Morty, really good there too. There's a lot of options, man. A lot of options. I guess in terms of free options, Sycamore could do it. Singsu Blue, technically free, he could do it, right? Whatever. I think she's also one that buffs both, right? Yeah, she buffs both. Also gives speed and evasion too, right? Which, you know, if you want to help max these out, right? She's really cool. Hey, double Crobat, look at that. So yeah, these are some options if you want to run her with Fall Iris. If you do want to like make Fall Iris more of the focal point, then maybe something like Singsu Brendan instead. So that's just gonna sacrifice Emma's damage for more of Fall Iris's. But otherwise, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of running Fall Iris with her. I feel like this is probably a better option, running her with Singsu Giovanni. First of all, you could run something like Sonya over here on the side, which, you know, gives you the move gauge acceleration, which on top of her giving +4 speed to the team, obviously Sonya could also give, you know, a bit of that last +2 speed to max your entire team speed out as well, right? Should be nice on the gauges, but also Sonya obviously debuffing the opponent's physical defense, which both Giovanni and Emma could take advantage of. And obviously Giovanni does have that big one-time use max move too, and since Emma has that AoE, you know, striker poison sync, you don't have to worry about the Giovanni's, you know, sync issue, right? And yeah, like regardless, I mean, Giovanni is still a Giovanni is still a really nice DPS unit regardless, right? Again, not as good as this Emma, but I mean, he's still up there, man. He's still up there, and I don't know. I just feel like it's probably a bit more valuable, considering just it's easier to bring in like supports and other stuff, right, for the team. So yeah, again, it doesn't have to be Sonya. There's a lot of other physical options out there. So yeah, a lot of units you could throw in there. I believe there's also the new Annabelle could be nice if you sync with her with the physical boost. She could be nice, right? Just so you get everything on physical, right? So they both benefit at the same time. Again, Calum would still really be nice there too, and you don't have to worry about the poison zone thing. And you know, both of them get, you know, the physical move up next there as well. And I don't know, there's just a lot of units, a lot of physical units that you could have on the team to run both of them at the same time with, right? Whether it's a physical support that could debuff opponents' physical defenses, or physical support that could, you know, give physical move up next to your team, right? Or yeah, or even classic red Snorlax, right? Could debuff opponents' physical defense, also give them super effective up next, all that stuff, which is cool. So max out physical attack. So yeah. Lot of nice options if you do run her with someone like Giovanni instead. Outside of that, I mean, obviously those are the two big options, but you know, a lot of these other options aren't bad either. I mean, they're not great by themselves, but if you put them alongside Emma could definitely carry a bit, right? So yeah, that's some team comps. Overall, like verdict wise, I'd say it's again, it's the best poison type damage dealer, which, you know, some people would value a bit more over Singsu Lysander, even though I do feel like Singsu Lysander, like individually, is probably a better damage dealer, right? But people might say, oh well, I kind of need poison types more, right? Which okay. Although I do also believe like we have a decent amount of like poison types in the game now in terms of damage dealers, right? you know, Fall Iris, Sings Giovanni, whatever, right? But, you know, still, she's the best of them. She's definitely the best of them. Definitely the best of them. And she's just really good, man. She's really, really good. And you know, for a striker to, you know, sort of be in there and also do stuff like buff your team's speed, right? Good potion, all that stuff. It's cool. It's definitely really, really, really nice of a unit. Again, the usual caveats still apply. Like her banner's still gonna be up once we know whatever's coming for a 3.5 year anniversary. So, you know, no need to rush or whatever. And, you know, some of the other units are also good, very good, and worth considering as well. You know, some of the other Pokefairs that are up right now, so those are also really, really nice. But yeah, overall, I'd say probably a 8.5 out of 10. I don't remember, what did I give Lysander? I think I give Lysander something similar, right? Yeah, I mean, it really depends on you, right? It really depends on you if you want to like pick between these two. Do you want something that's a bit of like rarer in type, or do you want something that's just who cares what type you are? I will like. I mean, she would also, right? She would also beat stages off type. But you know, again, she does have some really, really nice on type stuff, like with the Super Toxic 4. That is especially nice on type. But regardless, really freaking good unit, really good unit. It's just that there are certain stages where you cannot run her at all, right? Because they're like immune to poison, or quickly become immune to poison right after they cure one. So there's a lot of gauntlet stages where she might not be that great in, unfortunately. But you know, unlike Lysander still has two really powerful options. You know, with her, you just get locked out in like the poison fanging, which isn't doing anything. So that's like the only like big downside for this unit. And I guess also like in master mode, every time you can't pick that free, like no status condition. But you know, that's not that big a deal, right? But doesn't matter. I feel like her pros definitely do outweigh the cons by a lot, right? And look, in most stages where you really want to use her, which is like poison weak stages, most poison weak stages are not immune to poison. So there's that at least. So anyways, that's been this one. Hope you all enjoyed, guys. Think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the videos from our channel, some more Pokemon content. Again, good luck you guys are pulling, and notifications if you guys want for the live stream later tonight when we do attempt to pull her, and hopefully we do. And I feel like 4 out of 5 would be fine for me personally, but you know, you guys, it's up to yourself. So all right, have fun, folks. Good luck. I'll see you guys in the next one.